morning, Franklin Township. This is PJ Parker from the Franklin Reporter and Advocate, and we are here live this morning at the Franklin Township Municipal Complex with Mayor Kramer and several of our township dignitaries to honor a 100-year-old World War II and French resistance veteran, Mr. Michel Mockers. He will be here to receive the Knight of the Legion of Honor bestowal presented by Alain Dupuis, a fellow Legion of Honor recipient, and he will be accompanied by several Francophiles and accolades as to his contributions to our country, as well as Franklin Township. The ceremony is about to begin.
Thank you for your patience. We're just waiting for a couple of representatives from the French consulate to arrive, and then we'll begin. Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, there's.
Spell deputy there.
You look very sharp. Very close to the camera. Hello, dear. How are you?
Delighted.
Yes. So I'm showing Bill. I'm showing Bill this. France. I lived in France. Thank you. That's me, 1982. The F. You know, I think you were right. When we were walking in Marseille, let's just say, policeman stopped me. Yeah, so I showed him this. I said, in the evening, it's not safe. They told me to go to the Marseille. Which one? It's
Okay, Franklin, looks like the French Consulate General has arrived at see you guys toast to this summit. Sir Danielson and the second just getting ready to get underway.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I believe we are all here, so if you could find your seats. Good morning. So they do say that anything great is worth waiting for, so thank you for your patience this morning. There is a slight change in the program. We're going to have the Honor Guard process in prior to our national anthem, but everything else is as it's here. So I want to welcome you and thank you for coming to Franklin Township. My name is Safi Cowan and I'm the Special Projects Manager for the Township of Franklin. I hope you are ready for a wonderful celebration, for this celebration has been 100 years in the making. So first, I would like to welcome the Franklin Township Police Department Honor Guard, as well as the Canal Walk veterans. Welcome. Please give a hand for the French War Veterans Federation as well. Thank you. For the national anthem, please. I pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night
Please give a round of applause for our singers, Rebecca Russo, a student from Franklin High School with the United States National Anthem. And from the French Consulate, Jean-Baptiste Chaleroux. So it is a lovely day outside, and it is a lovely day inside as well. And I'm not just talking about the weather. As I said earlier, this is a celebration 100 years in the making. Not only is Mr. Michel Mockers a hero, he is an artist, he is a person with a soul that just loves life and respects life, and I'm so glad to see all of you here in celebration of this man. Without further ado, I would like to have our Franklin Township Mayor, Philip Kramer, come to the podium in order to deliver a proclamation and a key to the city. Thank you.
Hello, if I make it through this ceremony without breaking up, I get a medal too. First, before I begin, I want to thank Safi, Helen, for everything she did here. It wouldn't have happened as well as it is happening without her. I often say the staff does all the work, I get all the credit, but she's the one who should get the credit for this. Consul General Roberts, Legion of Honor recipient veteran Dupree, paratrooper veteran Ferrara, Army veteran Assemblyman Danielson, Air Force veteran Commissioner Director Robinson, Deputy Mayor Ambarrison, Councilman Vassanella, Marine veteran Sergeant Lara, Canal Walk veterans representing multiple services, the multiple French veterans that are here that I tried to start collecting names, but there's too many of them to account for. Ladies and gentlemen, and of course, Michel Mockers, as mayor and as a former B-52 pilot, welcome. Franklin is thrilled to host this ceremony. It's been a couple of months since I heard about it, and I've been extremely excited about it. I keep telling people, this is a big deal. We need to take care of it, and we have. France was our first ally, what eventually became the United States of America. At the Battle of Yorktown, which was the decisive battle of our Revolutionary War, there were actually more French combatants there than there were American combatants. Over 2,000 Frenchmen died in our revolution. No medal for me. We owe our very existence to France. Franklin played a very small part in that Battle of Yorktown, when over 5,000 Frenchmen, led by Rochambeau, crossed into Franklin over the Griggstown Bridge. I believe General Rochambeau was heard to lament about it being only one lane, even back then. We therefore are very, very honored and excited to pay France back in this small way for hosting this ceremony. Now, I didn't get the names of many of the veterans that are here. All of the veterans, every veteran, even if I named you, if you could please stand and be recognized. Please stand up. Thank you for your service. And I see we also have Superintendent Ravalli here. Thank you for coming, sir. So I have a proclamation for Mr. Mockers, Monsieur Mockers, thank you, sir. And I'm not going to read it in the interest of time, but it highlights his service to the war, his service to the world as an artist, a painter, a sculptor, a poet, a author. He's married and had 4 children, and for the great things that he has done throughout your life, and contributions to Franklin and the world. We are proclaiming today, the 21st day of March, 2023, as Michel Mockers Day. If you can step up here, we will present you with a key to the city. You have no apologies to me.
Walking better 2 years ago.
Well, I hope you keep walking for many, many years to come.
Hope so.
Here's the key to the city.
Oh, yes, thank you, sir. Like that, I can open the door for all the city.
The whole city. You own it now. And here is the proclamation.
I can open the door of the city and see all the men, to give my hand to all the men of the city. I am one of yours forever, if I can say so. And the ladies, a kiss to all the ladies. I want to leave Mr. King. And I thank you for that. It's a very big privilege, and I'm very, very honored and happy. But
Thank you. I guess we have to be careful who we give the key to.
I'm only 100, so we cannot do too many things.
Assemblyman Danielson, you have a proclamation as well.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Franklin. If you're a visitor, if you're not a visitor, good to see you again. I'd like to present to you a resolution from the General Assembly of New Jersey, and it reads in part, whereas the General Assembly of the State of New Jersey sends warmer greetings and salutations to Michel Mockers, highly esteemed in his Griggstown, Somerset County community, who will celebrate his 100th birthday, December 17th, 2022. And whereas following the war, Michel Mockers worked in a factory while studying to become an artist. And after years of honing his skills and discovering his style, he immigrated to the United States, where he had secured a number of large commissions and went on to enjoy a fruitful career. And whereas Michel Mockers has been upheld in his long and remarkable life by his family, and whereas he commemorates this fallacious milestone, the loved ones of Michel Mockers are especially appreciative of his valuable and irreplaceable presence in their lives and hold him a treasured place in their hearts. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this House hereby salutes Michel Mockers, pays tributes to his outstanding service in defense of the cause of freedom, and extends to him sincere best wishes. And that is signed by the Speaker of the General Assembly. And I'd like to present this to you. You don't have to get up.
I don't know how to thank you. It's very difficult for me.
Mr. Mocker said he didn't know how to thank us, but you thanked us in the 1940s, sir. Your book, if you don't know, he authored a book. And I found a couple of things in this book that reminded me of things my mother said. And she's she was born about the same time you were. And, you know, her father was my grandfather, her father was a colonel in the American cavalry. And her brother, her only brother, went over to Europe to fight. And his brother's best friend, which turned out to be my father, also went over. But what, in your book, may I just quote your book in two places because it hits home for me. When people fight for a cause in which they believe, they are ready to give their lives for it. And that's how so many Americans went over to fight with you. They didn't attack us, they attacked freedom, they attacked you, and my grandfather, my only uncle, and my father, that's why they went over there, they joined you. I'll also have you know that my grandfather's brother worked in the underground in Italy and got captured. And they tattooed him, and they were sending him over through Europe, particularly France, where someone derailed the train, and they were all rescued. So I think I owe you a personal thank you, because my grandfather, his brother finally came over and in Brooklyn ran a good company for many years. But you're an artist, and there's a quote in here that really says how loving and peaceful you are. And I could not stand the idea of war, but I also knew perfectly well that we had to fight if we wanted our freedom back. So war will create peaceful, loving, God-fearing people into great warriors, great heroes, and sir, that's what you are. And as we live between the heartbeats of Viva la France and God bless America, I'll say to you, I hope the whole world is your home, and I hope you live forever.
I must say that to you ancestors, to your whatever, you fight when you think that you are under, that somebody is under you, and you fight to get rid of it. And we fought to have it back when we had the German invading France. The only thing that the French had in mind was to throw them away and to keep back liberty. And that's what your father, your grandfather did. They fought for liberty. Liberty is what we try to fight for. And it's automatic. And everybody, I should say, everyone, I took care of basically of 1,850 men. It's why I am here today, because I took care of them. But all those men went to fight with no question at all. Just give me a gun and I will fight against the Germans. We want to be free. Freedom is what basically everybody wants, to be able to do what you want with your life without somebody telling you, you must do this or you must do that. So that's what we fought for, to have you today here, for example, with no obligation of any type. And I must thank you, every one of you, to be here because I'm here. I'm sorry for that. So that's it. And thank you to all your parents.
I'll ask for an autograph of this book. I don't have a pen. Mayor, you rest the program?
I like this new seat next to me. Excuse me, sir, we're doing autographs at the end. So you'll all get a chance to speak to Mr. Mockers as well. Just to give you a little bit of background at just how amazing this young man is right next to me. Mr. Michel was a French lieutenant and a British under-lieutenant and received the British citation and French citation with War Cross. These are just a few of the many honors and awards that he's received over his lifetime. So I know I'm going to ask you for applause a little bit later, but if you want to give him a round of applause, even before we So sit right next to me. Next we have coming up some remarks from the French Consul General, Mr. Jeremy Robert.
It's very embarrassing to be in my position today. when you are, for example, the gentleman who are going to say that I'm a fantastic guy, which I'm not.
You don't know. You don't know what I'm going to say.
I don't know, but I suppose that you're going not to say terrible things about me, but the reverse. Eventually, I should say we did what we can. We could what we could do, and that's it. And this way, personally, all my men are dead. Huh? They are all dead because they were all older than me, and you know I cannot expect that any one of them would still be alive. So I'm the last one of a whole series of men, and our gentleman here is going to tell you why they did, I suppose.
But what you did is extraordinary, and you should not undermine or underestimate what you have done. It's what you have done. Many French people at that time didn't do. It's actually resist. Many French people were either passive or, but some of them, and thank God there were many of them in France or outside France, like the free forces outside France, and the resistance in France had the courage at a very young age, like your age, to take your responsibility. And this is what you have done. You took the responsibility, and you were brave enough to risk your life for the freedom of France, and to make sure that France resisted, France freed itself, because we were free also thanks to the support of our allies. And I was very touched by what the Mayor Kramer said about America responding to the support of France in the past, and this is exactly what has happened. But also French people freed themselves, and this is thanks to your action that France remained a free country even after the war. And for that we will be eternally grateful. But anyway, I'm going to my speech now, because the speech is about Michel Mockers or Michael Mockers, but I will say Michel Mockers because you're born French, and it's a great honor and a pleasure for me and for my team. You have heard Jean-Baptiste who sang the Marseillaise, so my team has a lot of talents. With all the French veterans, who are also with us today, to pay tribute to Michel Mockers, who is not only a great man, but he was also a leader in the French resistance in World War II. And this is a Legion of Honor ceremony. Legion of Honor is the highest honor that the French Republic can give to somebody. This is long overdue. We should have done it way before, but it's something that you need. In my speech, I will explain in details why we're giving this honor to Michel Mockers, and then the award itself will be provided because I don't have the Legion of Honor myself, so I cannot officially present the insignia of Legion of Honor to Michel Mockers. It will be presented by Alain Dupri, who is the chairman of the French Veteran Association here in the US. So Michel Mockers, your bravery and the role that you played in rallying together more than 1,500 French maquisards. Maquisards, they are the French resistance, was not only dangerous but nothing short of remarkable. What becomes clear when we hear your story is that you seized on every opportunity to build and support the French resistance, as well as to protect France's liberty, you said liberty, France's heritage, and France's way of life at a time when they were perilously close to being destroyed. When you came face to face with the enemy, you responded bravely and displayed a remarkable sense of courage and resourcefulness. You also helped to create opportunities for the resistance. You were a true leader. Before we proceed to the awards, I will tell you, as I said, a little bit more in details about the great man we have before us. Michel, you were born in Nantes in 1922. Nantes is the Atlantic Ocean side of France. Your father was the owner of 2 casinos, one in Cannes and the other one in La Baule, which are 2 wonderful places in France. So I'm sure you had a wonderful time at that time, traveling to La Baule, to Cannes, which was very unusual. There were very few tourists at that time, but I'm sure you enjoy your young man age. And you were also very fortunate to be able to learn how to pilot a plane at that time. So I will say that during that booming time, between World War I and World War II, when we thought that war was over, there was no war coming, I'm pretty sure your young age was a truly glorious and very full of happiness, happy young age. You were studying at a boarding school in the south of France when World War II began. In 1939, you and your brother Christian decided to join your parents who were living in Paris at the time. As the Nazi-led blitzkrieg raged through Europe and one country after another fell to the German war machine, events in France took a turn for the worse. On June 14, 1940, Parisians awakened to the sound of German war machines and German occupation. Very quickly, the German Gestapo went to work with arrest, interrogation, and spying. For the next 4 years, Parisians were forced to stay inside their homes from 9 p.m. to 5 p.m. The city of lights went to dark. Food, coal, tobacco, and clothes were rationed. The prices of basic commodities rose sky high. When the occupation of Paris began, you had just turned 18 years old. You decided to leave the city because life there was going to be very difficult and the German occupation was very depressing. For a time, you were pressured to join the Chantier de Jeunesse, but at that time, a lot of young men who did not join the Chantier of Jeunesse were forced to be deported to Germany. This is what you avoid. And in 1944, when you saw an opportunity, you escaped to a village near Vierzon, in the center of France, where your grandmother lived. The train station at Vierzon had a direct rail line to Germany, and many German soldiers were stationed there. A friend of your grandmother's, a priest who was close to the local resistance, put you in contact with a British officer who was working with the Allied force. Her name was Pearl Witherington. She was in charge of coordinating and supplying the resistance cells throughout the South on behalf of the Allies. Pearl had lived in France since she was a child and spoke French perfectly. Within weeks of arriving in Vierzon, you began to build a new resistance cell of about 10 friends, 10 people. Unfortunately, you had nothing to fight with, no equipment. So Pearl Witherington was able to help you. After you met with her and explained your plans, she agreed to give you a few pistols. Shortly after these exciting new beginnings, a young woman moved into a house in front of yours. Her name was Suzanne. The two of you became friends, and like Pearl, she said she was a British service agent who was trying to help the local resistance. She said she would be willing to arrange for weapons to be delivered to you by parachute. You were, of course, very excited and surprised by this coincidence and quickly went to tell Pearl about it. What Pearl responded sent shivers down your spine. She explained that two British missions could not coexist on the same place at the same time, and that was impossible. So the only explanation was that Suzanne was to be a German spy, which obviously put your life and the one of your companion to danger. The next day, you and two of your closest friends invited Suzanne to your house and interrogated her. She confessed that she began to insult you in German. You managed to neutralize her. After this incident, Pearl's confidence in you, because this was a sign of confidence, and that you could be trusted as head of the resistance in this part of France, So the confidence in you grew, and she agreed to ask the British to parachute more weapons to your resistance group. Pearl will tell you where to wait, which was usually in the forest outside of Vierzon. And you and your men will retrieve the shipments, carry them to a neighboring castle called Le Château des Souches, where you will clean the guns and learn to use them. The group quickly grew from 20 to 100 men. Shortly thereafter, on June 11, 1944, you and your men were at the Château des Souches when you were attacked by about 100 German soldiers armed with rifles and machine guns. You and your men survived, but the couple that owned the castle was killed by the Gestapo. You realized that having a small group of maquisards of resistance confronting the German alone was too risky and strategically inefficient. You realized that you needed to join forces with the other cells of resistance in the area to coordinate your efforts and to be more effective. Pearl obtained a brand new Citroën Traction Avant for you. This was the car also that was used by the officers of the German Gestapo. And it allowed you to be more easily passed, to be more undetected in France. And you started to crisscross the surrounding areas of Vierzon, an area that held about 250,000 people. During the months of July and August 1944, you identified 350 resistance in Reuilly, 850 in the forest, La Forêt de Gastine, and a group of 100 communist resistance around Valençay. By August 1944, you had convinced all these groups, all these people, to become part of a single network with a single chain of command. Pearl said she will ask the British Army to supply weapons, but only on one condition. You, Michel Mockers, will have to officially become part of the British mission. You accepted and will become a second lieutenant in the British Army. You were put in charge of financing and providing military supplies to roughly 1,500 people, from 20 at the beginning to 1,500 people. The entire Maquis, the entire resistance of the region of Landes, center of France. You have told us that British parachutes will drop massive packages of bills of money for you to distribute. In fact, you received so much money and ammunition that after a time you stopped bothering to make out receipts. You only wrote out receipts for really large items like cars. You have told us many incredible stories about your experience as a resistance fighter and as a person who supplied the resistance in this region with money and ammunition. In fact, you have written a book, as it was said, about this time, and of course I encourage everybody to read it because we can learn so many interesting parts of our history. Let me recount two incidents that you describe in this book and that shine light on the kind of leader that you are and you were at that time and how you helped support the French resistance movement. And once again, at a very young age, he was only 24 years old at that time. After you agreed to officially join the British mission, you were no longer supposed to be a fighter in the resistance yourself. However, in July of 1944, you went against these orders that you could and that you could join a maquisard, a resistance called Marc. You wanted to hijack a train that was carrying 300 Senegalese riflemen. At that time, as you may know, many Africans from the French colonies had been enlisted by the French army and had helped the French free forces and had helped liberated Italy and the south of France. These 300 men were amongst them, but they had been captured by German soldiers and were headed for deportation in Germany. You helped with Marc liberating these 300 brave riflemen, saving their lives. You also played a part in safeguarding some of France's most beloved cultural treasures. In the Indre region, so the very region where Michel was displayed, there was a castle called the Château de Valençay. Curators from the Louvre, at the time of the German occupation, had hidden a portion of the Louvre collection in the cellar in coded box. This included some most famous pieces of art, like the Venus de Milo. This is incredible to know this. And the La Victoire de Samothrace, which is one of the most visited pieces in the Museum of the Louvre in Paris today. At a time when travel was difficult, you were able to bring food, essential supplies, and reassurance to your men. In fact, when the war was over, they invited you, the men who were in the castle, back to the chateau to help catalog the precious collection that was hidden there and send the art piece back to Paris. So not only you fought, you saved Senegalese soldiers' lives, and you also saved some part of our most precious part of our artistic history and cultural heritage in France. For all your action, you received the Croix de Guerre for your action in 1968. The Croix de Guerre is one of France's most important military decorations. And today, as I said, it's long overdue. Maybe the fact that you went to the US, you disappeared from our radar screen. This is why we're happy that we could, thanks to some of your friends, we could spot you again. Today, it's an honor to add you to the prestigious list of awardees of the insignia of Knights of the National Order of the Legion of Honor. The Légion d'honneur was created by Emperor Napoleon in 1802 to recognize men and women who have accomplished exceptional deeds for France and its people. You risked your life to save France from the barbarity of the Nazi regime. You played a decisive role in protecting our country, our values, and our way of life. And Mr. Mockers, I can say that you deserve this honor, and it's a true honor to present you the Legion of Honor today. Merci beaucoup. Merci.
It's maybe a tenth of what did happen.
And I'm sure.
Because, you know, what it was for several months, I was driving a Citroën traction avant for the very principle that the Gestapo was driving the same machine. And I met several times with the Gestapo. So I didn't know it. But we were, if you want, all what you say is very good, except you said not a third of what did happen.
Yeah, exactly.
But you cannot
We
come
were
out.
here for 10
No,
hours.
what I want to say is that all the French and all the men that I served, that I helped, you know, they were all of the same mind what we talked in the beginning. Freedom. We didn't want to have the German telling us what we had to do and be under the permanent menace, if you want. Oh, you don't do that, you kill. Oh, period. They were killing, you know, like a boom, boom, boom. Eh? So it was it was 4 years, and not even for me. I mean, for all the people, all the civilian people, Paris was a horrible town. I saw in Paris on the column you have the names of all the people who have been picked up in the street and shoot because one German had suffered, I don't know what. So it was absolutely terrible. And so, you know, I tried my best. Huh? I'm here today. I was not expecting at all to be here today. That time. But, you know, it was the time where it was true for France as it was true even here, you know, to get free, to remain free. That was the big deal, and you give your life and to have all the people getting free, even if it's at the price of your life. But you want your people be free and think what they want and act as they want. That's it. That's all I'm trying to do.
I'm going to ask now, and before I ask Alain to come, I will recognize the family of Michel Mockers. You should be so proud of what he has accomplished, and it's just to tell you the gratitude of the French government to your, I don't know if he's your father, your grandfather, or but he's a hero in France, and for that we will be eternally grateful. So now I will ask Alain Dupuis, the chairman of La Fédération des Anciens Combattants, the French Veterans Society here in the US, to come and present you with the medal. So we'll ask you to stand.
Michel Mockers, au nom du président de la République, et qui me permis de vous remettre la Légion d'honneur. Patrick.
Un applaudissement again.
Can I still say something?
Of course.
I did ask. Nobody could see it. I did ask. What was his name? Marc. I did ask Valier, and I did ask Michel. His name was Michel. To bring all the men, you know, they are all dead. But if you believe in souls, souls have no room. They can all be here, and I did ask them to be here to see that I was receiving that medal. Because in fact, if I received that medal, it's not because what I did, it's because they existed and they needed to do what I did. So in fact, they were the reason for which, the real reason for which today I have that medal. So I wanted all of them to know that. Beside that, thank you, and thank you very, very, very much.
Descendez des collines, camarades. C'est nous qui brisons les barreaux des prisons pour nos frères. La haine à nous tous et la faim qui nous pousse la misère. Il y a les pays où les chambres des lits font des rêves. Ici, nous vois-tu, nous on marche et nous on tue, nous on crève. Ici, chacun sait ce qu'il veut, ce qu'il fait quand il passe. Ami, si tu tombes, un ami sort de l'ombre à ta place. Demain, du sang noir séchera au grand soleil sur les routes. Chantez, compagnons, dans la nuit, la liberté nous écoute. Amis, entends-tu les cris sourds du pays qu'on enchaîne? Amis, entends-tu le vol noir des corbeaux sur nos plaines? Oh,
For those of you that did not know what you were listening to, it is the French resistance song, Chant des Partisans. Had I known you had such a voice, I would have had you sing it. Today is a historic event. We have people here of all ages, from somewhere around 14 to clearly 100. If you had not realized just how exciting Mr. Mockers' life was, then you know that today. There was artistic treasures, train hijackings, Maquis resistance, night drops, espionage, and of course casinos. Mr. Mockers, on behalf of the Township of Franklin, we thank you for your service, and we thank you for your life. Thank you so much.
Thank you and everybody to be here. Because for me, it's something absolutely fantastic, and once more, not fantastic because of me, but because today what I represent, the French resistance of that time, and what we did to get rid of it, and be free again. So, all of you, thank you for being here.
Now we have two selections from our high schoolers to close out our program today. The first is a poem read by Charbel Hushin and Victoria Luck. It is called Liberté by Paul Eluard.
Liberté par Paul Éluard. Sur mes cahiers d'écolier, sur mon pupitre et les arbres, sur le sable, sur la neige, j'écris ton nom. Sur toutes les pages lues, sur toutes les pages blanches, pierre, sang, papier ou cendre, j'écris ton nom. Sur les images dorées, sur les arbres des guerriers, sur la couronne des rois, j'écris ton nom. Sur la jungle et le désert, sur les nids, sur les guenilles, sur l'écho de mon enfance, j'écris ton nom. Sur les merveilles des nuits, sur le vert blanc des journées, sur les saisons fiancées, j'écris ton nom. Sur tous les chiffons d'azur, sur l'étang soleil moisi, sur le lac lune vivant, j'écris ton nom. sur les champs sur l'horizon, sur les ailes des oiseaux, et sur le moulin des ombres, j'écris ton nom. Sur chaque bouffée d'aurore, sur la mer, sur les bateaux, sur la montagne des mondes, j'écris ton nom. Et par le pouvoir d'un mot, je recommence ma vie. Je suis né pour te connaître, pour te nommer. Liberté.
Liberty. On my school notebooks, on my desk and the trees, on the sand, on the snow, I write your name. On every page read, on all the white sheets, stone, blood, paper, or ash, I write your name. On the golden images, on the soldiers' weapons, on the crowns of kings, I write your name. On the jungle and the desert, on the nests, on the bushes, on the echo of my childhood, I write your name. On the wonder of nights, on the white bread of days, on the seasons engaged, I write your name. On all my blue rags, on the pond mildewed sun, on the lake living moon, I write your name. On the fields on the horizon, on the wings of birds, on the windmill of shadows, I write your name. On each breath of the dawn, on the ships on the sea, on the demented mountain, I write your name. By the power of the word, I start my life over. I was born to know you and to name you. Liberty.
Thank you very much. Now to close out our program, I heard that you were a music lover, so we have a musical selection directed by Timothy Walton, and the Franklin High School Choir will be singing "The Lord Bless and Keep You."
I want to thank you. She's very thank you. I must thank you very much for what you did. But you did something which is much more important to me. Music. And it's only through the arts and the art of music that the world can go on. Otherwise life would be impossible. So please keep on singing and keep on making music for the world. Thank you. Yeah.
ceremony. Please feel free to take photos and discuss this amazing life with Mr. Mockers here. He'll be here for a few moments. I'd like to thank all of you that participated, all of you that came to see what I call a historic event, and those of you that were inspired. Thank you.
Thank you. I was thinking of all refugees. And thank you, every one of you.
Okay, Franklin, that's going to wrap up our coverage today of the awarding of the French Legion of Honor to Mr. Michel Mockers, veteran of World War II, the French Resistance. We may be having some interviews later on, so sit tight. If not, until next time, Franklin, stay safe.